In this video, the project we're going to review is a blockchain game that is called Cloud Castle, that is developed by the studio of Digital Insight Foundation, which is a whole blockchain. So we're going to discuss this whole game and the studio itself, the blockchain itself, their tokenomics. It's really mind-boggling. The game itself is really amazing. The mechanisms, the tokenomics, the functions involving the NFTs. It's just jam-packed with a lot of different features and a lot of mechanisms. So I'm really excited to show you guys this game and this whole platform. So make sure that you watch till the end. Do not think I say it's not going to be an investment or a financial advice. So always do your own investigation and research. And with this out of the way, let's move straight to the project. Now here we are at the official side of Cloud Castles. You can see this is already, you can see a great promise in this one. And this is something that I've stressed for a lot of the times before, that blockchain gaming is currently really low in comparison to traditional gaming, because the whole concept of blockchain gaming is new itself. But the games that we're seeing in blockchain gaming are really low standard. There's a lot of less effort that is being put into actually making the game, and the graphics and the animations and the whole mechanisms and system and story. A lot of games don't even have a story, but they just focus on the economy aspect of the game to make it player earn and so forth. But the thing that they don't understand is that in order to make it more sustainable, you actually have to offer something that people will actually enjoy. Because at some point people will stop making profit and they will just leave the game. You have to make the game interesting enough in itself that people will play the game for the game and not for the player-earned mechanism. Keep the player-earned mechanism as a bonus to it, but don't make everything, centered around the whole player-earned mechanism. And Cloud Castle, I'm actually proud to say that this is a game that I'm proud to promote, in a sense that it does not put their entire focus on play to earn, not entire focus on making this just a blockchain game, but they have made it so interesting and using so good animations and graphics and this whole storyline and the characters and the avatars, that this is something that even if you don't have all these other incentives of earning and NFTs, you will still enjoy playing this. And there will be a lot of people that will be playing this for this and not for the other things, which is what makes it more sustainable, which is what makes it a better investment opportunity. And we're going to talk about all the details. There's like a lot of details that goes into it, so we're going to take a look at this. You can just tell by the quality, by the sheer quality of the website itself and the effort that is being put into it here. And this is one of the things that you can tell right in the start if this is one of the amazing projects or is it just an empty promise, just speculations and so forth. So there's a whole story, as I said, there's a whole story behind this. But if you want to have the true feels and emotions for the game and actually enjoy it, I would prefer that you go through the whole story. But since we're going to focus on the project itself and their tokenomics and all the other aspects, technical aspects on how it's going to work and what you can do in this one, so I'm going to skip the story part and we're going to focus on other things. But you can read the story from your own. It's available in the white paper and so forth. So this is kind of like the backstory on where this game stands. You can also watch the video right here, and this is information about their team. Now I'm going to use a lot of information from their white paper. So we have 3 white papers actually. I have it open right now. This is actually from the Digital Insight Games, or you can say DIG, which is a whole blockchain. It says Digital Insight Games is a next generation game studio founded by industry veterans, and these are who developed the Cloud Castles. And again, as I said, it is a whole blockchain. So we're going to talk about the tokenomics of the blockchain itself and so forth. So you can get details on these things to ensure that this is a legitimate and a solid studio and a whole background. Now, if we talk about the white paper, now this video can get a little bit lengthy because there's a lot of information that needs to be covered. If we talk about the genre of the game itself, this is kind of like a hybrid between the role-playing games and the real-time strategy, in which it says where players can collect, evolve fantasy creatures, deploy teams in breathtaking environments, and direct their magical beings in fast-paced battles. you probably know a lot of games, a lot of role-playing games. You have Clash of Clans, Boom Beach, and there's so many other games that you can play in which you create this kind of like clans. You have your characters, you have lands, you engage in battles. There's different modes that you can engage in, and so there's a lot of mechanisms that are involved. That's what I want to say. You have all the details on the team itself, who's producing what, and their experiences, so you can read those right here. These are the contents. You can see there's actually a lot. In the War is Coming, this is where it talks about the backstory, where the game actually is at, so it'll actually help you guys a lot in developing a better understanding on where the game currently stands, so you can really engage yourself, immerse yourself in the game. I'm gonna skip this part, and we're gonna talk about all the technical details and the avatars and so forth. So in the overview, these are the key elements that we have: strategic deployment and tactical control of fantastic creatures in real-time combat. You have AAA gameplay, invented and developed by video game industry veterans from the Digital Insight games. Breathtaking environments and visual effects created by leading-edge technology. Accessible yet deeply challenging player versus player gameplay, updated seasonally. You also have player versus player, but you also have player versus environment also. And there will be a lot of other modes that will be suggested by the community, or they will be developed by the community. So that's something that we're going to have in the future. Broadly supported and promoted social features, both corporate and competitive. Seamless integrated blockchain features, supporting ownership, control, and fairness, which includes NFTs, which includes owning lands. There's different kinds of lands, and there will be different target audience for the land, so that investors, just like we do in normal markets, is that you will buy a land in a market, and then you will rent it to someone to make a shop there, and they will earn a revenue from there. So there will be different types of lands that you can buy. There's a battle arena, and there's like a lot of them. We're going to talk about details when we go there. So there's different blockchain features that we have in this one. And moving ahead, so we have different creatures, and you know, the avatars, the creatures, they are NFTs, and they have their own I would say statistics, parameters, different functionalities. So it says creatures are defined by many parameters in three main categories. We have innate, intrinsic, and extrinsic. We have more information on the parameters, and we have different affinity, appearances, acquisitions. So you can see there's a lot of details that we have in terms of mechanism, which if I start discussing that in detail in the video, it's going to be probably 1 hour long. We have the whole enlightenment process, kind of like an upgrade process. We also have augmentation, and then we come to the combat, which is probably the gameplay section. I'm gonna move ahead and talk more on the tokenomics and the NFTs part of it. The gameplay itself is really extensive, it's really elaborated, so there's a lot that goes into it, which is, if you get into it, you're gonna have a better understanding of this. Even if I tell you guys all these things right now, it's not gonna make sense for you guys, so you'll have a better understanding when you are actually in there. And these are different also actions you can perform. You have movements, you have attacks, you have specials. Every creature has their like special abilities that you deploy. I think you're a gamer, you will understand this thing much better. And moving forth, these are the modes of gameplay, which I said that we have player versus player. We also have player versus environment, which is against the computer or bot. And then in the future, we're gonna have user generated content, so that either the gamers will be suggested by the community that they want this one, or they can just create the game modes themselves, which will be of course open to interpretation by every person. And then we have the concept of fellowships, which is kind of like a clan feature or team feature, in which you create groups, and then you have in groups you have members, and they do collective tasks, they support each other. They have this whole community that is developed, they practice together, and so forth. So you have community, you can practice, there's boosting, so they can, you know, have a collective vault there where they can, you know, pool up their resources, and they can give a boost to each member that needs help. And then there's different challenges that, you know, as a group they can perform, and there's different quests. And now if you talk about areas, as I said before, the lands in this one are NFTs itself. So in land and infrastructure, we have castles, battle arenas, skylands, and then moving forth we have isles and fortresses. So, and this is the marketplace in which you can deal with the, you know, the NFTs, or basically any characters. So we have the command store, auction house, commodities and resource store. This is where you can basically trade with things, and this is what we have in the, you know, the whole marketplace. Moving ahead, these are live ops. I'm gonna move forward and talk about the tokenomics more. So it's actually on the different white paper. So we're gonna move ahead there afterwards. We also have the DAO governance in this one. So basically the members that have those rights are the DIG holders and stakers. DIG is the native token of the DIG blockchain, which we talk about right here. And they will have the vote on passing out proposals, which can include which can be a proposal for new feature, types of expansion, system improvements, and so forth. And if you talk about NFTs, the NFTs that we have are avatars, and we also have lands. We have creatures and cosmetics, we have legendary mythic artifacts, and we have high scarcity chests. And the ways to get NFTs are from command store, auction house, and leveling up. And if we talk about the benefits of owning land, now there's different types of lands that we discussed before, and there's different benefits and different targeted audience for each of these lands. So if we talk about Ballerina, the benefits that we have are branding, advertising, and the DIG token. There's a guaranteed percentage of community treasury that is given, and then we have the graded rewards via diamond spending. And the target market for this one, for ballerinas, for people who own ballerinas, are corporations, strategics, and other crypto investors. If you talk about Skylands, the benefits that we have, again, this is the DIG token, again, guaranteed percentage of community treasury, graded rewards via diamond spending, and we have collectible. The target market for this one is crypto investors and the players. And if you talk about the Isles, we have the benefits that we have are Essence. Now, Essence is another, I would say, feature of the game in the gameplay itself. You can rent from fellowships, and the target market is players. So it's really up to you to decide which one you would want to own. And this is the whole economy flow in a sense. So you can read out the whole thing right here. Now, I think this is the time when we move toward the more in the tokenomics sense, I think, which will be, of course, of the DIG token, because it's on the DIG blockchain. The DIG is the native token of their, a whole blockchain. So these are the potential token use cases for the DIG token. It'll be used, of course, as an in-game currency. It'll be used for governance. We already talked about that the whole council of the members that will be having the right to pass the proposals will be those that have, the holders and the stakers of the DIG token. And then security incentives, in-game rewards, network transactions. And the total supply for the token is 8 billion. And this is how it is distributed. And this is how it is breaking down, and probably the vesting periods on each of different allocation that we have. And if there's actually another one right here. So it talks more about the features of Digital Insight Foundation and the token itself, which we already have discussed the use cases. It talks about token design and the features of DIG, what makes it secure, what makes it better, and the DIG blockchain itself, on what makes the DIG blockchain different. And one thing that we know, in every blockchain, there's always three things, and there's no ideal situation where you can get all these three things. You can make it more scalable or more decentralized, but you can't just do both of these together, at least not for now. If you try to go for more decentralization, you always compromise on the scalability, and if you go for more scalability, you kind of compromise on the decentralization. So this is a problem that exists, but you have to get past this, at least for now, because this is something that exists in almost all the blockchains. And the other one, of course, was the transaction fees and the transaction cost. And so this is information about that. Again, you basically have all of the information right here available for you guys to read out on your own. And I probably just covered 1% of the entire information, but that's not the point of this one. That's not the point of this review. The point is that out of the whole crypto space, or if you just focus on the blockchain gaming itself, you won't be seeing this kind of a promising game that actually focus on the mechanism. You can see it talked very less on the technical part of stuff. It focused so much on the game itself, on making it really amazing for people to actually enjoy it, adding all those features, not to boost the economy, not to make revenue for the company or the team, but for people to actually have fun playing the game. And the things that they own are NFTs. They have the ownership of those, not like in other traditional games where we just spend hundreds and thousands of dollars, and in the end, when we stop playing the game, we don't have ownership of any of those things. So this is what I really like about this, especially cloud castles. But you have all the information right here. I'm going to give you guys all the links in the description. I think this project, this game itself, and the company itself is really promising. It's really amazing, and they definitely have a really bright future ahead of this. So I think you should try this out. I'll give you guys all the links in the description. You can ask me anything that you want to if you're confused about something. But yeah, this is all I have for you guys in this video, and I will see you guys in the next one shortly. So stay tuned. Disclaimer: trading digital assets involve significant risk and can result in the loss of your invested capital. You should ensure that you fully understand the risk involved and take into consideration your level of experience, investment objectives, and seek independent financial advice if necessary. It is up to you whether to invest or not.